Hey there, guys. Welcome to Schneider Time. I won't keep it very long today. I said that every time, and I end up, still taking about 7 or 8 minutes. So it's a lie, I guess. I mean, I don't want it to keep it very long, but I'm probably going to. So that's how it is. I want to talk today about grit and the greatest lesson that I could ever teach you guys. That's hyperbolic. One of the greatest lessons I could ever teach you guys. The term grit is a term that has a real meaning and then a metaphorical meaning, or a more abstract meaning. The literal meaning is like something that has grit or is gritty is something that is rough and it has a how do I want to phrase this? Because I don't want to use a dictionary. I want to kind of think real life. Like the texture of rocky sand is kind of gritty. And then like a grit is something that it's rough and it has grip to it. So grit has grip. It causes friction. It's rough surface. Okay. So if if your mom made mashed potatoes and it was really gritty, it would be like there's something hard and kind of crunchy in there. It may be nasty. Like that's some. Mom, that's real bad potatoes. It's a terrible example. Think about in some industrial settings, like a factory or a warehouse, they'll have like a concrete floor, and sometimes it'll be painted with like an epoxy paint, like a heavy rubber-based paint to keep to kind of block in the to kind of make the factory look a little prettier, and then maybe perhaps to prevent any kind of concrete cracking or whatever. But because the epoxy paint and a smooth concrete floor can still become like a slip hazard, they'll put grit in the paint. And the grit's I think it's tiny pieces of rock, or sometimes they literally use sand. And they'll mix it into the paint. So when you paint the floor, you're painting it with paint and this little grit, this little included texture. And it makes the floor easier to walk on, and you're less likely to slip and fall. If the floor is wet, or if it's been rainy out, or if it's snowy and your shoes are wet, it makes the floor less likely to cause a fall. So I want to talk about grit today, because grit, not the floor kind of grit. The abstract definition of grit is this: when you have grit, it means you have that character or that ability, that personality trait that allows you to just push forward and keep going when it'd be very easy to give up and give in. Okay? Grit is determination. Grit is the ability to dig deep within yourself and to keep fighting and to keep trying, no matter how hard or difficult something is, no matter how frustrated or tired and how much you want to just stop. Grit makes you keep going. I was reminded of the lesson and the power of grit just last night. I was reading through Action Comics through Superman, and I was reading it because I want. You know what? I'm not going to justify myself. I was reading comics. I am who I am. I was reading Superman comics, and I don't know if you guys read comics, but you should. And in the current storyline, Superman has just told the whole world that he's Clark Kent. I know, spoiler alert. Anyway, he told the whole world that he's Clark Kent, and a lot of things happen as a result. But there's a great scene in the middle of the story where Superman goes back to Smallville, where he was raised, and he visits one of his old teachers, the old chemistry teacher, Mr. McKay. And he talks to McKay about his time in McKay's class. And he explains, it's not a very long scene. I'm actually going to send you guys a scan of the scene. I'm probably breaking the law there, but don't know about it. But you should go. You know what? You should. It's a teaser. You should go buy it yourselves. But at any rate, he talks to McKay about how he could have used his powers back then to cheat in the chemistry class, using X-ray vision or this or that. And he says, I never did. And Superman tells his teacher, I worked harder for you than I've ever worked in my entire life. I learned grit by trying in your class. And the reveal at the end of the story is that Superman got a C in that class. He didn't even get an A. Superman worked as hard as he said, in his entire life, in his chemistry class in high school, and he never even got an A in that class. And I love that story, because the real lesson wasn't the chemistry. The real lesson was learning how to keep going, to always give your best, to always keep working, no matter what the results might be. You don't give up. Now, I'm not saying, I want to be an actor and I'm going to go spend the next 40 years of my life, slumming in Hollywood trying to get an acting job. Okay, at some point maybe you should give up and get a real job if you can't get an acting job. But my point, that's a side story there. My point is, when it comes to things when it comes to things like school, or once you do get a job, like, there are things you can't just quit. You have to keep going. And it's grit that makes you keep going. Because if you do just quit trying in school, you're going to fail. If you do just quit trying at your job, you're going to fail. You're going to get fired. It's grit that keeps you going, and it keeps you from the ultimate failure, which is to stop trying. Guys, can I be honest with you? In the end, I don't care if you leave my class and you know that Louis XIV built Versailles, and that Louis XVI screwed up France and ended up losing his head over it. I don't care if you leave my class understanding the nuances of U.S. economics in the 1920s that caused the Great Depression before the market even crashed. I don't care if you understand those things when you leave my class, okay? I mean, I want you to learn them, but in the end, it's not that important. Because what I want you to learn is to learn how to learn how to try, to learn how to do things you don't want to do, because that is the essence of adulthood, my friends. Doing things every day that you'd rather not do that day. Now, I'm an adult, and I don't want you to think that I'm bitter about that fact. But there are plenty of things that I have to do that I'm like, if I can just not do this today, right? There are some things I just don't want to do. But I have developed over time that grit, that determination that says, it's what I have to do, and I'm going to do it, because I'm an adult and I handle my business. And that's what I want for you guys. I want you to learn how to handle your business. I want you to learn how to take care of yourselves, how to advocate for yourselves, how to be your own person. Not so that you can't have help. You should always ask for help if you need help. Not that you can't rely on other people. You totally can, and you should. But that when it comes down to it, it's up to you to ask for help. It's up to you to make the determination to push forward even when you'd rather not. That's grit, and that's the real lesson. It doesn't. If you mess up an assignment and you get a 0, own that 0. It's your 0. That's your moment to learn. You failed to do something you're required to do in class. And you're going to learn a life lesson from that fact. And you're going to be a better person for it as you move forward. Sure, you may not get an A. You might get a B. You might get a C. Oh my goodness. You might even get a D in this class. And that's okay. What's not okay is to give up. What's not okay is to not try. It's okay to get a bad grade as long as you're learning the larger lesson of getting up when you fall, dealing with your mistakes, moving forward, and refusing to give up. That's the real lesson. That's grit. That's determination. And that's what you guys need to learn from your time in high school. How to keep going, how to keep moving, and how to be the person you were always meant to be. That's it, folks. Hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.